You can look at certain things in your reality, and you could very easily say, well, that sure doesn't look like love. However, when you go a little bit deeper, what is every negative action? Fundamentally, on the human plane, nothing more than a call for love. Sometimes it is that people do not get love from their parents or their peers, and that can cause them to act out, to lash out. Sometimes it is a matter of a person simply not giving love to themselves. Maybe they're getting all of the love from everyone around them, but they refuse to give it to themselves. And that can cause someone to lash out in pain and anguish. So even the things that you consider to be acts of violence or acts of horror, these are still calls for love. There's such a deficiency in the battery of love for some of these people that this is just the only way that makes sense to them. They have to lash out. Why does that make sense to them? Because when you are deficient in love, you are deficient in intelligence. We will repeat, if you are deficient in love, you are deficient in intelligence. Therefore, you cannot think straight. Therefore, if you are deficient in love and intelligence, you're more likely to lash out and create harms in an attempt to get what you need, even though we all know that's not really the most effective way to get what you need. But to someone in that state, that might make sense. To someone whom is starving, taking food from someone else might make sense. But what if you taught them how to eat the food that floats around as particles of light in the air? Well, now that person may not have to resort to thievery. Yes. And what we're saying here is it's important to teach those whom you encounter whom are deficient in love. And when we say teach them, we don't mean lord over them as if you're some kind of noble guru whom knows everything. That's not what we're saying to do. What we're saying to do is when you find that these people come to you, and they will come to you, we remind you, if you're on the spiritual path, you are a healer of sorts. So people whom are in need of healing will come to you. It's important that you recognize it when it happens. Now, that doesn't mean, again, you have to teach them as some kind of authority, or you have to heal them as some kind of energy healer. But what it does mean is apply your principles, apply your meditation practice, apply everything that you have in that moment. Because that moment is of ultimate significance when you're interacting with the person whom is deficient in love. Because you have a unique ability to help them remember the connection. And if your connection is very strong, all you have to do is feel your connection and touch them. And it may be enough. So these are the things we have to say in relationship to what is love and in relationship to what is not love. Fundamentally, everything within the physical reality is made of love, but even more fundamentally, everything in the physical reality is made of joy, and even more fundamentally, everything in the physical reality is made of ecstasy, and even more fundamentally, everything in the physical reality is made of bliss, and even more fundamentally, everything in the physical reality is made out of what you would consider to be a blending of blissfulness, emptiness, and intelligence. These three things together form all of the other sensations. It is the human universe, it is the human plane, it is the human realm where love is the baseline positive vibration that is needed for the human species and the earth to flourish. In other realities and higher ones, it's joy. In higher ones, it's ecstasy. In higher ones, it's bliss. So the standard of positivity increases as you increase in your vibrational realm. Yes, as you ascend from one realm to another, you have to raise your frequency even more because that baseline is higher. And on Earth, you're training in unconditional love because that's the human baseline.